I am so sick of being homeless.
Sorry, jumped a little too far ahead in the story. Let's start at the beginning. For the most part, I was your typical high school kid. Skinny, insecure, scared of girls, addicted to porn, and really just trying to blend in with everyone else, trying to be cool. But I did always have a little sparkle of ambition in my soul, and that manifested in the form of wanting to be a creator and wanting to be a YouTuber. Started when I was like 11 or 12. I was making the first generation iPod with the camera. I was making videos on that. Then I got a really crappy camcorder, got addicted to video games. I was making content on that. And then in high school, when I got to the gym and into fitness, I was making fitness vlogs. And that was the dream, but it was also very weird for me to do so because I come from a very small town, like 3,000 people population. I'm talking 100 people in my class in high school. So quite literally nobody else did what I did in terms of making YouTube content. But before I knew it, it was senior year of high school and things were changing. All of my friends are talking about what colleges they're going to go to, what kind of scholarships they can get to help fund it, or if they're going to take out loans, if they're going to move, if they're going to stay here. And the pressure got to me because if you weren't one of the kids who knew what college they were going to go towards, we even had a ceremony where we had to announce the college we were going to go to, you were seen as one of the losers that were going to enter the workforce, meaning the kids who weren't smart enough to get into a college. And while I didn't try as hard as I could have in high school, I was certainly smart enough to go to college. So I did. I picked a career path I thought was achievable, safe, and comfortable. I started attending community college classes while also working at a sporting goods store. I was the door guy. You know when you walk into a store, so I was like, hey, how's it going? Would you like to sign up for a credit card? Yeah, that was me. And throughout most of 2019, that's what I was doing. I would go work, I would go take classes, and then once a month maybe I'd make a little YouTube video because that was still the dream. There was still a desire deep in me to do that, but it didn't seem that realistic. I had like 400 subscribers at the time. But then in October, my friend messaged me and said, hey, Gymshark is having a meetup in Houston, Texas. Houston was about 6 hours south from where I lived. And Gymshark at the time was the biggest, coolest brand. We were the biggest fans because we were into the gym and all the YouTubers we watched were on the Gymshark team and we could actually go down and meet them. But when we checked on the website, the tickets were sold out. And honestly, I kind of just lost hope at that point. But miraculously, my friends found some random girl selling her 2 tickets on Twitter. He sent her a couple bucks. And all of a sudden we had tickets. And all of a sudden we were driving down to Houston, Texas. This was the first time me going to a big city on my own, not like a family trip or anything. So we're excited, but really we don't know what to expect. We get there, we settle into our hotel, and then we're debating on what gym we should go to because we were just gym rats. We loved going to the gym. It was our life. We were looking at all the cool gyms. And we decided last second to go to the Alpha Elite Gym, which at the time was the most popular influencer-y type gym in Texas. And I still remember the sense of awe I had when we pulled up. After all, this was the gym that all the YouTubers I watched would go and train at, and we were here.
Oh, why did you the car? That means we have to go in.
And we started working out. And that alone was awesome, but it did not prepare me for what was about to happen. Because while we were training, I look over my shoulder and I saw David Lade. He was the biggest fitness influencer and someone I admired a lot because he was similar to me. Skinny guy who got into the gym and got jacked. Now, I wasn't jacked, but I wanted to be jacked like him. But basically, I was a fanboy. And then I looked to my right, another YouTuber, another YouTuber, another YouTuber. Turns out all the people that came to the Gymshark event, all the athletes, decided to go train at that gym the same time me and my friend did. But something odd happened. My friend was excited. He wanted to talk to the YouTubers and all that. But I just sat there and looked at them. And it was like all of a sudden I was seeing reality in 4K instead of like the shitty 480p that I saw it up until this point. You see, I was making content. I believed in YouTube somewhat. It was always a dream in the back of my mind. But the moment I saw big YouTubers in real life was the moment I realized, oh, this is an actual thing that people do. I can do this. And I couldn't help but look back on the entire year up until that point where I started taking community college classes. I was half-assing my YouTube efforts. I was posting 1 vlog a month. And I realized, oh, not only is my dream real and actually achievable, but I've pretty much forfeited it. I told myself it was plan A and college was plan B, but that was further from the case. And suddenly this negative emotion washed over me. I was mad at what I've done over the past year. I was mad at my current state. I realized that, oh, I don't want to go to college. I don't want to do these things. I want to be like the YouTubers. I want to go and do what I actually want to do and create content and live somewhere cool and do cool things and travel.
We really made our plan Bs of going to school, getting a safe job, we made those our plan A. It made us realize that these goals that we have with YouTube, social media, creating things, fitness, health, all that is possible.
It was in that moment I realized I need to leave. I need to leave college. I need to leave my current job. I need to leave my parents' house, and I need to leave my hometown.
We've gotten this new sense of desperation, of hungriness for these goals that we want.
So 2.5 months later, I put in my 2 weeks notice at my job. I told my mother my plans, and I didn't know it at the time, but she had complete disbelief in this. She thought I was gonna go and be back within a matter of weeks. But I did make her feel better because I told her, oh no, don't worry, I'll still do community college. I'll just take classes online. I didn't renew for another semester. And up until this point, honestly, none of it really felt real. It didn't even feel real my last day of work where I clocked out for the last time. But then before I knew it, I woke up super early. I'm loading all kind of random stuff in my car. I didn't actually know what to do, so I just threw some clothes, some shampoo, my camera, my laptop, and headed out. And we both had some money saved up from working, so the plan was we were just gonna get there, get an apartment, get a job, start working, and pursue our dreams. So after the 6-hour drive, which was actually my first time driving by myself and driving in a big city, which coming from a small town was a little intimidating. Also, Houston drivers are reckless. They have no remorse for anyone they harm in the process of their driving. It's all about them. And I get there and I thought, oh yeah, we'll just get an apartment. It's super easy. Yeah, I didn't know how the world worked. We're trying to apply. We found the cheapest apartment we possibly could at $800 a month. It was a 1-bedroom with a little studio room. I said, I'll just take the little studio room. I could fit my bed and desk in there, barely. But they were denying us the ability to start the lease. So we're scrambling. We're trying to figure out if there's anything we could do. Oh, can we pay a couple months early? Oh, can we do this? Oh, can we do that? Okay, well, we can't rent a 2-bedroom, so let us just rent this 1-bedroom with a studio. And they're like, oh, yeah, no, we need proof of income for you to rent this apartment. So we had some interviews at the company Alpha Lead, actually, the clothing side, not the gym. But until we got employed, we were unemployed and the complex didn't care. So it started our 2-week process of staying at shitty hotel to shitty hotel to shitty hotel. Honestly, they were actually motels, if you know the difference.
I am so sick of being homeless.
I remember one of the last ones we stayed at was the worst one in the worst part of town. We were actually kind of fearful checking in and going in. I remember walking in, the lamp's broken, the curtains are torn, there's mystery stains, brown and white, on my bed. We woke up, I put on my $80 polo shirt that I just bought because I thought that would help with the interview if I looked nice. We went and we got the job. So we get our proof of employment, go to the complex, get approved, and I signed my name on the lease for 6 months. This was the point of no return. Up until this point, I could have just went back home. I had nothing tying me here, but I was locked in at least for 6 months in this apartment with bills to pay for the first time in my life. And that's the first thing I realized is that when you leave your hometown, when you leave your parents, it forces you to grow. All of a sudden, I had all these responsibilities. I didn't have parents I could fall back on. I had to make this work. For the first few weeks, it was going okay. I had to work these 12-hour shifts in the warehouse, packaging and shipping out clothes. And then something happened.
Coronavirus.
The coronavirus presents a public health emergency in the United States.
And then this virus happened and just punched me in the balls.
All of a sudden, everything was closed. Even the gym. Work drastically cut my hours. I was working 4 to 8 hours a week. And I was just in this crammed little room in this crummy little apartment by myself. I had very little money and very little to do because up until that point, my whole identity and everything I made content about revolved around the gym. And that was just taken from me. And sure, for a few days, I was trying to do the little at-home workouts, but I did not have the discipline for that. So what did I do? I fell back into all my old bad habits. I was sleeping in, I was playing video games all day, pausing every few hours to watch some pornography, and eating 1 meal a day. I would get one of those microwave rice packets and tuna and just mix it together, and that was my dinner every single day. But I'm not gonna lie, it was fun at first. I got to return to video games, I was talking to my friends online, and I thought, oh, this COVID thing, it'll last for 2 weeks, and it'll blow over. And then it just kept going, and everything stayed closed. And after a month, and then it was 2 months, and all of a sudden, I entered this deep depression. It was the darkest period of my life.
This virus is ruining my life.
Because the one thing that defined me, that I had semi-confidence in, the gym, was taken from me. The vices were getting old. I was sick of playing video games all day. I was sick of the pornography, and the thoughts began to creep into my mind of giving up. And that could mean two things. That could mean moving back home or giving up. But I didn't, which didn't really make sense, because up until that point, the version of myself that I was before I moved would have given up like that. Something inside me had changed. I knew that this sucked. I was lost. I was depressed, but I wasn't going to give in. I wasn't going anywhere. I'm not fucking leaving. I was no longer a kid anymore. The options, the comforts, the safety net that existed for me when I was still a kid and viewed myself as a kid was no longer there. I was responsible, and even though I didn't know who I was, I knew I was an adult. But despite all of my issues, all of the bad habits, addictions I still had, deep insecurities, because of this change, because I threw myself to the wolves, embarked out on my hero's journey, I kept persisting. I kept falling forward because this experience had changed who I was. And within a year, not even a full year since I moved out, a huge opportunity was handed to me. That opportunity led to me leaving my regular job, at the time was working front desk at a gym, and freelancing for other YouTubers. And then it freed up my time to focus more on myself, my personal development, but also make more of my content. And then that started to grow, and everything started to change. Little by little, month after month, my channel was growing. I was getting more opportunities. I was traveling more, because what I was doing at the time was filming for another YouTuber who was a bodybuilder, and he would travel and do things, so I'd tag along with him. And I was opening up to so many different experiences, and the more experiences I was open up to, the more it forced me to grow, even though deep down I didn't even want to grow. I was still insecure. I still had all these doubts about myself. I still had all these bad habits, but it was forcing me to grow every time I had one of these experiences. And it's interesting because up until recently, I had this realization. I was thinking about my brother, and I was like, oh man, you're in such a perfect spot. You still live at home. You don't have to pay rent yet. You could really lock in, like work on online business, because that's what you're interested in, and make it work. And you don't have all these things going on. But I realized if I was in that position, I wouldn't have done any of that. I would have been on the same regular path, working a regular job, half-assing any dreams I had, because my back wasn't against the wall. The pain wasn't high enough to cause me to actually change. That's the thing about change, is that until the pain of not changing outweighs the pain of changing, you're not going to change. And one of the easiest ways to do it, and I think something that almost every single man should do if you're the age of 18 to 24, which is my current age, leave your parents' house. And especially if you're from a small town, not a big city, leave your hometown. Because if you relate to me and you have ambitions, you have big goals, but you stay in your safety net, you can pretend all you want that, oh no, my dreams are plan A, and like, you know, this other safety net stuff, that's plan B. That's what I said to myself. I knew I was lying. It wasn't until I went and saw real YouTubers and realized my dreams were truly able to be achieved that I realized I was lying to myself, but I was lying to myself. And if you're in that position that I was in, you are also lying to yourself. But once you embark on your hero's journey, it's guaranteed change. It is guaranteed change because, one, you are going to put yourself in a new environment that forces you to grow, where your back's going to be against the wall. You're going to have to make things work. You're going to have bills, responsibilities. You're going to have to get new jobs, meet new people, do all these different things. And two, you open yourself up to new experiences, new relationships that will change your life. These are the things that actually change your life. It's not sitting in your room at your parents' house, pretending to do self-improvement all the time, taking cold showers and whatever, because at the end of the day, you're still a kid in your parents' house. If I hadn't done everything that I just explained to you, even though there was all the hardships, even though I was struggling for weeks, I was poor, and then COVID happened, and I had the worst mental turmoil of my life, almost didn't make it out of it. If I hadn't have done that, I would not be speaking to you right now. I would not have almost 200 subscribers on my YouTube channel. I would not be running my own business, helping people like me with personal development, because the pain of changing would have always been higher than the pain of staying the same. The pain of mediocrity, the regular path, society's pressures, the pressure to go to college, pressure to work a certain job, or anything else that seems safer, that seems more comfortable, but deep down is pulling you away further and further over time from what you actually want to do, your actual dreams, and more than that, your actual potential, that higher version of yourself. That unless you push yourself out there, force yourself to evolve, it will always be a theory. It will always be a what if. And if there's one thing that I do not want to think when I'm on my deathbed is what if, or I wish I would have done that. I wish I would have tried that. Because to be honest with you, regardless, no matter what you do, if you're in your late teens, early 20s, you're going to be fine.
It's so easy in our small town to just get caught up in going to work, going to class, just doing these basic, boring life things. And I'm not going to knock people that go to school, but when your passion lies somewhere else, like, there's no reason to not go for it.
And since you made it this far, I'm going to use my big brain and I'm going to pick out a video to put on the screen right now because I'm pretty sure you're going to like it. I'm pretty sure it's going to help you on your journey to become that higher version of yourself, to push yourself out of this comfort zone and reach your true potential and achieve the things you want to achieve, the true desires, but also just escape the pain of mediocrity, of the life I know you don't really want deep down. Thank you for watching. Hope you learned something. Hope you're inspired. Hope this helped. Bye-bye.